I've never made a movie of this size before or of this genre. I've always been a fan, but it's a daunting undertaking. The day I knew everything was going to be okay was the day that Robert Downey Jr. was attached to play Iron Man.
That is reputation and shame the guys on that team. I worked with them before. Every time you go into their shop, you go, oh my God, and they did that, and they did that, and AI, and this and that, and you see a history of films that I grew up on.
Are ever able to kind of make one and then scrap it and make another one and make improvements and scrap that and we have to actually work it all out and deliver at the time we're supposed to.
John, don't Johnny.
Faster!
And in assembling the cast that I did between Robert Downey Jr. and Jeff Bridges, Gwyneth Paltrow, Terrence Howard, that's a cast that I would be.
We'll let you warm up a little bit, and then we'll start throwing a little movement into it.
Robert's a guy who is very disciplined in his approach to everything he does, and he's really gotten his body and his mind into a very, sort of clear, disciplined state, and that sort of carried over into how he prepared for the role.
Wherever direction is, just point kind of the opposite way, right?
Yeah, when you feel it going the other direction, act like you're trying to counter it. Okay, go the other, there you go, just like that.
I think he was very aware that he sort of had a burden in this film that he hadn't had before. He could sort of be charming and funny and come in and out of a movie and steal scenes in the past, but now he was a, sort of an iconic superhero.
I weight train crazily, and I do a lot of martial arts and yoga, Kung Fu, Wing Chun Kung Fu, but I was doing that.
This. That's fine. With me, across your face. Don't let your face get scratched on anything, all right? Robert Downey Jr.'s first reactions to the suit were.
Oh, they don't bend either, right?
No, they just.
Oh, I see.
They're basically rotational, right? They rotate and all the moves or hits are like this.
You looking at him saying either that or I can take it, and you said I said no, and I put it in front of you. Be that.
If I have one, will you move it back? If I have one drink, could we move on? Yes.
And he takes it.
Takes a drink.
Now, do we cheers before that? That'd be good.
We have one drink. Okay, here.
So please, and roll sound.
And boom up, boom up, boom up.
Okay. Ready and action.
Honey, I hate it when we fight.
Good morning, Mr. Stark.
Sergeant, I'm not mad. I'm just
I said I was
indifferent.
sorry. Thanks.
I don't want to hear you.
I want to
do it
be
sober,
fresh.
okay?
I know what I'm doing. I live for this. This is business travel. I don't got a throttle between my legs going, hopping
just
from my...
do what you want to do. Just leave me alone.
Join me. One drink. To business.
I said no.
To the future. To the Air Force.
Will it get you to shut up?
Work it, work it, work it!
I'm just so proud of everybody and satisfied and the whole deal. I mean, in my psyche right now, it's that thing of like someone was saying the last day of high school and, you kind of just can't wait to throw your hat up, but then you're like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I just remember last, October, November.
Or even really this one, but it'll be
With all the details and stuff.
There's not a lot of variation of color in there, so if we could do anything just to maybe like little highlights of rust or something like that.
Here we go. And action. Robert.
Robert really wanted to play Tony Stark, and I really wanted him to play Tony Stark. It wasn't the most obvious choice from a studio's point of view. Unfortunately, Marvel is a new studio with a lot of freedom. We weren't dealing with the classic studio system where they have their lists that they generate. There was a lot of freedom to cast the best person for the role, because fortunately with Marvel movies, the image of the superhero is in fact the big draw, the big star. And they've learned that they've had a lot of success in the past when they've hired people who are good, interesting actors and relied upon the name of the brand itself to sort of be the thing that becomes the rallying cry from a commercial standpoint. You then are able to try to make the best movie possible.
How dare you refuse the great objects of God?
You're only alive because of his generosity. You are nothing! Nothing! You understand me?
People have drawn parallels to the character in his own life, but that wasn't by any means the decision or part of the criteria by which we chose him.
He has come to rule from the Pacific to the Ukraine.
The really fun part about the cave set is the dressing inside. What is life like when you're locked up in a room like that? So sock, or how you make coffee, how you play games, you make backgammon sets out of nothing, things like that.
With Robert in the Iron Man suit, you know, ILM fill in those blanks where the suit would be full.
Stop. Stop. Come on. Please get up. Get up. Please stop.
As an actor, I've never gone through a process like this before, because usually you have a written page and you have a definite set idea of what it's going to be like.
You maybe could shave about 90 seconds off your death would be nice, because it's a little uncomfortable leaning over there.
Well, 90 seconds?
You heard me.
Robert,
They look even more fantastic.
Action!
How's it going, Hef? Oh, sorry. Thought you were someone else.
It's okay. I get this all the time.
Now then, so I get it right, probably.
Cut. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a camera wrap on the creator of Iron Man.
All right, Stan Lee. You're the man. Thanks today.
All right? I like the test.
This here's Lone Pine, and it's doubling for what we here we're on protected land, so there are a lot of parameters that we have to observe to shoot here, but the trouble that we went through is well worth it, because it really gives you a look like we traveled halfway around the world.
When you get to work with the guys at the top of the field, you just go, okay, that thing's going to blow up in back of me, and I'm going to be okay. Or you get hit with like a little frag, and everyone runs over because you're like, you know, the star of the movie, and you're like... I was pretty blown away by how much we were able to do at such close proximity, but I'll tell you, you know, it definitely helps you.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. That is a wrap.
To shoot Tony landing in the sand dunes after he escapes from the cave, and then walking through the desert.
Here we go. Pictures up.
It was sandstorming, and it was kicking up so hard, and I just remember laying there buried waist deep in all this gear.
Okay, there's a cut. Yeah, quick. They're clear.
Wardrobe, there's a boot down there. See you on the next one.
The first half hour of being in the Iron Man suit is like the coolest Halloween you ever had, except you're alone in the tree. It's designed for guys to wear, but I'm not a stunt man. And most of the stunt men aren't doing, you know, 65 scenes. It was tough, and as we went further and further along, I realized like I could wear the suit all the time, but I can't wear the suit all the time and be an effective actor.
I'm sorry, did that interrupt your flow?
I guess this is a draw.
In the last couple of weeks of shooting, I was like,
Now it's time for both of us to go. That's the law of nature, Tony! Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, going to Las Vegas. That was a wrap. Thank you, everybody.
You know, every movie has its trials and tribulations. We did encounter a snowstorm in the middle of a desert in the cave scene, which was very odd. We did have sets that blew away and blew down, but it actually, the movie gods were with us most of the time. And while it was always daunting, it went fairly smoothly, which was great for our first production, very important for our first production.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jon Favreau, director of Iron Man!
That's a testament to John, to the crew that we put together, and for the cast, who were always game, who could always maneuver through whatever circumstances were thrown at them. And, you know, we did. We came in on time and under budget.